With the exception of tiny city-going electric vehicles, electric vehicle ownership in the Philippines has a pretty high barrier of entry. But thank God that there is now a new brand that has come to the Philippines who will probably change that. Welcome to the arrival of VinFast in the Philippines, and welcome to one of their models, the VinFast VF5. In this video, let's see what this car has to offer and what the company, what VinFast, has in store for us too in terms of electric vehicle ownership. Before we talk about what exactly makes VinFast's proposition to the Philippines very unique, let's first talk about the exterior qualities of the VinFast VF5. So starting over here at the front, you will notice that there is this signature V-shaped grille that VinFast has been incorporating into their vehicles. For some people, they might think that there are some sort of LED headlamps right there hidden under there, but no. Your headlamps, your halogen headlamps, are actually located a little bit further down below right here, in between that V-shaped grille and that bumper. Now let's move on over towards the side of the VinFast VF5, and at first glance you might think that this is simply a small hatchback, but you're wrong, because this is technically a crossover SUV, a subcompact crossover SUV. Ground clearance is at 168 millimeters, which truly isn't bad, and if you look at your rim setup, you also have 17-inch rims right here. Now we move on over towards the rear of the VinFast VF5, and I really love the look of this vehicle because it is super unique. You will not mistake this for any other car on the road with this V-shaped light bar that you have at the rear. You also have the spoiler effect with a third brake light, and since it is an electric vehicle, you don't get any exhaust pipes at the bottom. Now when we open up this tailgate right here, you'll see that you have 260 liters of space. Not bad at all for the size of this vehicle. And this is with the rear seats folded up. But if you do fold down those rear seats 60-40, you can expand your storage all the way up to 900 liters. Now for the powertrain, the VinFast VF5 comes with a 38.4 kilowatt-hour battery. And what is special about this battery, we will get to later. But first, the power figures. You have 135 horsepower and 135 newton meters of torque as well. You have a claimed range of up to 326 kilometers on a single charge, which is definitely more than enough for Metro Manila roads and nearby provinces as well. You can also charge this car up from 10 to 70% in only 30 minutes. And your 0 to 100 kilometers per hour acceleration time comes in at only 10.9 seconds. Now let's go back to charging. How exactly do you charge this vehicle? Well, just come on over here to the fender of the front passenger, and as you open up this port, what you'll see is a Type 2 plug. And this means is that you can practically charge this almost anywhere in the Philippines, because if you use that in conjunction with this bottom one, the CCS to DC plug, most charging stations, if not all charging stations in the Philippines, has this plug. So this is the best case for any EV owner. Now we move inside the interior of the VinFast VF5, and at first glance you might think that because of the size of this vehicle, you will not really have a very spacious interior, but as you sit inside here, you'll feel that it is incredibly spacious. Now the dashboard setup right here is quite interesting because you have like this ginormous center air vent, then you have like 2 air vents at the passenger side and 1 for the driver side. Really interesting, pretty quirky too. And speaking of quirkiness, your engine stop-start button is also located here by the center, and it doesn't even look like a regular engine stop-start button. It simply just says power right there. It just looks like a regular button that you would press at the center of your dashboard in a regular vehicle. This is also where you'll find your door lock and unlock switch, right? That is pretty cool. Now let's move on over towards the steering wheel, and you can see that it is pretty thin. And this is also where you'll find the buttons and settings for your cruise control, because this car does come with cruise control. Now for your screen setup inside the VinFast VF5, you have a 7-inch digital instrument cluster. It also is pretty easy to read, so that is a good thing. And at the center is an 8-inch touchscreen, which does come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And get this, if you put this electronic shifter to reverse, you even have a reverse camera that is pretty clear too. Now let's go back to this electronic shifter, and what you'll notice here is that aside from it being a rotary knob, you do not have park, and this is something that you'd often see in electric vehicles. So to park this car, you simply leave it in neutral and pull up your handbrake. Just like that, you call it a day. Now for the other things you get inside this vehicle, you have these leather seats, and you can even raise this up height-wise. It is adjustable, which is very good. Most vehicles don't have that in this price range. You even have this 12-volt outlet by the center, a USB-A port, a place to put your phone probably, and even 2 cup holders at the back. Now for safety, you do get 6 airbags, which is pretty impressive. You get blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert, and you also get a really cool door opening warning. But let's not forget that the VinFast VF5 is a 5-seater vehicle. So here at the back seats, we have to check out the space too. And me at 5'6" tall, I still have around 6, 7, or even 8 inches or leg room. That is pretty impressive. Same thing for headroom. Look at that. Only slightly smaller, maybe like 6 or 7 inches. Truly pretty good for such a small car such as this one. Now, can you see 3 people here at the back? Well, that is properly doable because the car, it isn't exactly super narrow, and you barely have a transmission tunnel or a hump by the center, and you even have an almost completely flat floor. So yeah, seating 3 people in here is definitely doable. Earlier in the powertrain segment, I said that the VinFast VF5 has a very unique thing about its battery, and that's because you can actually purchase your very own VinFast VF5 with or without a battery. If in case you want to buy your VinFast VF5 without a battery, this will set you back 992,000 pesos. Obviously, you can't drive your VinFast VF5 without a battery, right? So how does it work? Well, you can actually lease a battery from VinFast Philippines through their battery leasing program and simply pay a monthly fee of 5,800 pesos. Under this program, you never have to worry about battery degradation anymore, and your upfront cost will also be cheaper. Once your battery health goes below 70%, well, VinFast Philippines will simply swap out your battery. So you have a very seamless experience with your electric vehicle. Now, secondly, if you do want to purchase your VinFast VF5 with your very own battery, well, that will set you back 1,191,000 pesos. Still, overall, pretty affordable for an electric vehicle, right? And all this is on top of a 7-year or 160,000 kilometer bumper-to-bumper warranty and an 8-year or unlimited mileage warranty. And for the colors of the VinFast VF5, you have VinFast Blue, as what we have right here. You have Brahminy White, Crimson Red, and Neptune Gray. For now, we'll end it at that, but do stay tuned for our full video review so that we can give you our honest impressions on this vehicle as we get to test it out on our Philippine public roads.